Hello, Abnormal Investigations. How are y'all doing? Sorry we haven't had a video out in a while. I've had a lot of things going on that I've had to take care of. Plus, I haven't been feeling real well. I'm still not feeling 100%, but the show must go on because we have things that we have to do, right? And definitely I have things that I've got to do, and y'all know why we do the shows, right? I don't even have to tell you that no more. Um, got an encounter for you guys. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I am planning another Boots on the Ground to substitute the one we had to cancel last minute. There was things that came up last minute that was out of my control that I had no control over. So we will get that rescheduled. Let's get into this encounter. And there's a little bit of a warning on this one. There is some death in this one. So if you're not, like that kind of thing, you may not like this video. I'll never forget the night I encountered the dog man. I was driving home from a late night shift at work, my tires crunching on the gravel road that would wound through the woods. As I rounded a bend, I saw a figure standing by the side of the road. At first, I thought it was a deer or a coyote, but as I got closer, I realized it was something much more sinister. It stood upright like a man, but its body was covered in dark fur, and its eyes, they reflected in the headlights like no eyes I'd ever seen. I'd slammed on my brakes. My heart was racing. My heart was pounding. This creature begins to move toward me. I felt the fear of death. I tried to reverse, but my car was stuck. My wheels were spinning on the loose gravel. The dog man loomed closer, its hot breath. I could see it on my window, and I could feel its gaze piercing my soul. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or to look away. And then, just as suddenly as it disappeared, the creature vanished into the darkness. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, my heart pounding in my chest before I finally found the courage to drive away. As I got home, I was just sitting there, wondering what had just happened. I'd never told anybody about this encounter, but the memory of those eyes, and the way it was breathing on the window, and the wet nose, and the slobbers, this was the most scariest thing I'd ever encountered. The next night, while I was sitting at home, I could hear whispers outside my window, and when I looked, there it was at my doghouse. First thing I thought was, my puppies. I froze, terrified for my puppies, my heart racing with fear, as I watched the dogman crouch down beside my doghouse. Its eyes seemed to be fixed on the puppies, and I could sense a malevolent intent as it started to try to reach in to the doghouse. I tried to shout, but my voice was caught in my throat. I tried to move, but my legs were paralyzed with fear. All I could do was watch in horror as the dogman reached out a clawed hand toward the doghouse. But then something unexpected happened. My puppies, who had been sleeping, were about 8 weeks old, little Rottweilers, suddenly sprang to life. They started barking at this creature and growling as if they were big enough to take on this huge dog man. But the creature let out a startled yelp as the puppies tried to attack it. It actually appeared to be afraid of the little puppies. It was looking around. It stumbled backwards, giving me just enough time to react. I rushed outside, shouting and waving my arms, turned on the floodlight on the side of the house and aimed it right at the creature, trying to chase the dog man away. It let out a snarl, and it took off into the night, disappearing into the darkness. I was left standing there, shaking with fear, but grateful that my puppies were safe. As I looked down at them, I saw something that made my blood run just weird. My puppies, they were still barking, still trying to protect me, my little protectors. They were mad, they were angry, and they were still ready to fight whatever this creature was. I was so proud of them. I couldn't believe my little puppies had put their life before mine. But then, the next day, I went to work, came home, and nothing else had happened. The next night, when I came home from work, I was met with a scene from a nightmare. My puppies, those innocent and playful balls of fur, were strewn across the yard. their tiny bodies mangled and torn apart. The air was thick with the stench of death and blood. I stumbled backwards, crying uncontrollably, my mind reeling in shock and grief. Who could have done or what could have done such a thing? And then I remembered the dog man. I remembered its eyes and how evil and sinister they were. I knew then that I was dealing with something evil, that something that didn't just come to my yard. It came to my yard to just kill the innocence of these puppies. But it revealed in destruction and chaos it caused. I felt a wave of fear wash over me, but also a sense of determination. I was going to find out what this thing was, and I was going to try to kill it because of what it done to my puppies. As I looked around the yard, I saw something that made my blood just boil. A message on the side of the doghouse, written in the puppy's blood, said, "You're next." I've added lights all around my house. I've done a police report, but nothing else has happened to this day. I just remember seeing my puppies laying all over the yard with their intestines strung everywhere, hanging from the trees, the doghouse, the side of my house. Totally shredded, totally gutted. My dad is now living with me, which is an avid hunter. He has brought 2 of his catch dogs he uses for hog hunting. He plans on killing this thing when it comes back, and if it ever comes back. What do you think encountered my puppies? Do you believe it was the dog man that done this? And why would it do this? Why would it do this to something so innocent? I just don't understand. Oh, I don't know why it would do that. Just out of pure evilness would be my guess. These things are evil, and I think that it knew it would hurt you by doing this to the puppies. Also, the puppies defended you. It probably took that, probably made it mad that the puppies did, defend you. And it came back to get its revenge and maybe to send a message. I'm glad that your dad is living with you. I don't know that his catch dogs will work. It may work. I don't know, but I'd be cautious about losing those dogs also, because if there's one out there, who knows, there could be more than one. And you sure don't want your dogs chasing it and get away from you and end up chasing it down into the holler, into a pack of these things. You'd for sure lose your dogs. I think installing the lights and the cameras was a good idea. I think that will help you from having another encounter. I hope it never comes back. The writing on the doghouse saying you're next, that shows a high intelligence. But we do know these things are very intelligent. A lot of people may be surprised about that. I'm not so much. But they don't do it, I know, very much. You don't hear much about that. But I do believe they're very capable of that. If they're able to speak, then I don't see why they couldn't do that. Guys, coming up, I'm going to be working on the drone that Lori had sent us, and I'm going to figure it out and everything. That way I can give you guys an aerial view of where we're at and where I'm doing my investigations. I think y'all would really enjoy that. We're also going to implement the drone in the other channel, the Outdoor Adventures. We haven't been able to do a lot of things over there. I'm going to try to get everybody together to do some things. It's hard to do. I may try to do some things on that channel. I'm trying to push it for Hunter. That's his channel. Trying to really push it hard for him. So if y'all want to help out, you can go over to Wide Open Adventures, subscribe, and just let the videos run so we can try to get him to that monetization point. I know he would love that. That would be a big favor. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel, don't be something's dinner, and I'll see you on the next Boots on the Ground.